Good morning, students. Welcome to the online classes of Remaining Memorial Senior Secondary School. Today we are going to start a new chapter. The name of the chapter is A Visit to Cambridge. A Visit to Cambridge. Actually, this is an interview taken by Firdaus Kanga. He is an Indian paralyzed Indian. Okay, a visit to Cambridge is a travelogue. Travelogue means when a person travels somewhere and tells you about the place, about the people he meet. Okay, so it is a travelogue written by Firdaus Kanga, a Mumbai-based journalist and writer. Even though he was paralyzed, he used wheelchair to move on. Still, he was a journalist and writer. Okay, so he is very famous for these things. Despite being differently able, he traveled to many places across the globe and never considered his disability as a hindrance. Basically, his disability did not stop him from doing anything. Okay, so this is all about what we can do. It's not about what obstacles we face in our life or what problems we face in our life. It's about how we go through them, how we pass through them. Okay, so this chapter is telling us about that only. He was indeed an inspiration to the surrounding people as well. In this chapter, he shared one of his previous visit to Cambridge University, where he met Stephen Hawking. You must know about Stephen Hawking. He was an astrophysicist. Who are astrophysicists? Those who work as an astronomer, that is about our solar system. Okay, and also physics. Basically solar system and physics, they combine, and scientists studying about that is astrophysics. Hawking was the author of A Brief History of Time, which is one of the biggest bestsellers worldwide. Okay, during a walking tour to Cambridge University, he heard about Stephen Hawking, who was a genius astrophysicist with a disability. You know, Stephen Hawking, he was not able to speak, he was not able to move himself. He got some technology that he could only speak 5 words at a time, maximum in a minute. So Mr. Hawking had succeeded Sir Isaac Newton's chair in the physics department at Cambridge University. So after Isaac Newton, you must know about Newton's laws, okay, in physics. So Stephen Hawking was the successor of Sir Isaac Newton in Cambridge University. So he was holding that prestigious chair. After Firdaus was done with the walking tour, he had an urge to meet Stephen Hawking. So he called at Hawking's house and told the latter's assistant that he had come all the way from India and was confined to a wheelchair. He expressed his desire to meet Stephen Hawking and also mentioned that he wanted to write a book based on his visit to England. Hearing this, the assistant gave him an appointment between 3:30 and 4 p.m. for the meeting. Basically, what we are getting here, so basically he was going for his travelogue. Firdaus Kanga is going for his travelogue. So what he did, he went to Cambridge University. It is one of the most prestigious universities ever. Okay, so as I told you, Sir Isaac Newton was succeeded by Stephen Hawking for that honorable chair. So Firdaus Kanga, after moving through Cambridge University, he got to know about Stephen Hawking also, and that he was also a disabled person, but still a great scientist. So what he thought is, let's meet Stephen Hawking and talk about the problems he must have faced reaching this height. So what he did, he went to Stephen Hawking's house, and there he asked the assistant that he has come all the way from India to meet Stephen Hawking and talk about everything, whatever he has achieved, and also told him that he is also disabled, he is also on wheelchair. So he wanted to meet him. So the time was given. Okay, time was given 3:30 and 4 p.m. for the meeting. When the author met Mr. Hawking, he was surprised that such a brilliant astrophysicist was completely paralyzed and confined to a wheelchair like him. That astrophysicist was confined to a wheelchair. He was also having a wheelchair. Such a brilliant mind was having a wheelchair. He quickly composed himself and started asking a few questions to Mr. Hawking. At first, he asked Mr. Hawking how he dealt with the things, how he dealt with the problems that he faced in the life. You must have also faced the problems in life, but it's all about how you deal with them. Okay, this is only about how to deal with the problems. Dealing with the problems helps you achieving new heights. So To this, the genius replied that he had no other option than being brave and accept his current situation. The so genius person, that is Stephen Hawking, said that I didn't have any other option. Okay, so I had to do this. I had to be brave here. However, he found it funny when people patronized him. Firdaus then inquired if Mr. Hawking ever got annoyed if they disturbed him. To this, Mr. Hawking replied in the affirmative tone with a smile. As the author interviewed the astrophysicist, he realized that Mr. Hawking appeared to be a man with a beautiful heart and soul. After taking the interview with Stephen Hawking, at last he said, "I'm sorry because I took a lot of time, okay, and it must have bothered you. I hope you won't be annoyed with me next time." And for this, Stephen Hawking simply smiled. With this, Firdaus Kanga got to know that even though being such a wonderful astrophysicist, Mr. Hawking appeared to be a man with a beautiful heart and soul to him. Besides, the author also questioned Mr. Hawking if he was unable to see the humility and kindness in the world due to his disability. Hawking agreed to this with Firdaus. Finally, the interview came to the end with a message for all the readers. Mr. Hawking said that disabled people should focus on the good in themselves rather than overthinking about the disability. They should not become overzealous. Instead, concentrate on things they are good at. Saying so, Mr. Hawking went into his garden. Thus, the author felt that his journey to England was not just inspiring but successful too. Now, what happened here? After he got to know different things from Stephen Hawking, at last he also asked, "You must have felt people's pressure about your disability. They must have had a lot of chat about the disability." He said, "Yeah, of course, I also faced the same. But the thing is, it's all about that person, the disabled person. He or she should not look at the disability, but he or she should concentrate on what good he or she has. Every person has different abilities. Okay, it's not about the differently able. It's not about the disability, it's about different abilities. Every person can do something special that others cannot do. So a disabled person should not look into the extra zealousness, basically overthinking about what problems he is having. He or she should think about what are the methods to overcome such problems. Now, moving to the conclusion. The chapter of Visit to Cambridge highlights to students that physically disabled should not be considered a hindrance in someone's path towards achieving greater heights in their life. One should learn to conquer the disability of the mind rather than focusing on the physical disability. Presenting this one, okay. This thing presented you how we can be successful even though after having problems in our life. We can face the problems. It's all about how we deal with it. Even being a disabled, it's not necessary that you won't be achieving anything. There are a lot of examples in your life as well, and you can see the Olympic medalist as well. We got a lot of Paralympic medals this time. So I hope you understood the chapter. You must have got a good moral, also good teaching as well with this chapter. That's it. Thank you. Please like the video, share our channel, and also subscribing. I hope to meet you in my next video. Also go through the playlist that is holding a lot of subjects and different teachings for you. Thank you. Have a nice day.